Okay, good afternoon, guys. Hope everyone is well. Tis the 4th of October. We've had two legs down here and we look like we're about to push up. Now, I can't trade till exactly 2:30, so I've got about 20 seconds before I can activate any of my trades. But also the market. It's hard to know what the market's going to do here. We've got a leg and a leg down after a channel up, so I think it's likely we're going to go up, but another 9 seconds and I can activate a trade, or at least get one ready if that's the case. Okay, so I'm just going to get a buy order just in case. So we've got a channel with a break and a new low. Looking like a triple test on the NQ. But there's also a second entry short there, so I'm staying out of this at the moment. Market is open. Channel with a break and a new low, maybe a retest and then a possible push up. Let's just see if there's any sort of support around here anywhere. Maybe there's see, there's quite a channel up there, so it just maybe be a steeper pullback. So let's go back to there and then maybe something like that. Not sure about that. Hey Jan, how you doing, mate? So tough at the moment. That channel is pushed up nice. We've only hit 1 point before we've broken. It's not like we've hit support anywhere. I mean, if we'd hit a couple of areas, so it may, just because it's been such a steep push up or a steep move, we just may be getting a steeper correction. So if we can get down there and start to move up, then we may get that new high. But we got a touch. It's fitting beautifully, really. Yeah, we had that little bit of spike, but if you wouldn't have had that spike, you could have, in fact, I think it's probably safe to do that, because that really is just a new spike, but we went out of it and we came straight back in and continued working. So I think really it doesn't really matter whether you have that like that or that. But if you put it there, it actually kind of fits there. So, but I think it's irrelevant anyway, really. Yeah. Chat. I don't like the wider, but it fits. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a new spike, isn't it? If you bring that down to there, that fits beautifully. I've got no issues with that. But it is a spike, so I think it doesn't really matter too much. That does it's not necessarily going to affect price. We shot up and then we pulled two legs straight back in, retested and continued up. So we can forget that really. You think wider down? Leg and a leg, maybe. I'm not thinking as in channel yet. The trouble is, if you go from there, it touches there, but then you could argue we got a small overshoot. And the trouble is, if you do start to do that, it's very hard to start thinking about down. So just at the moment, I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm thinking two legs. I want to see it make two legs, and then I'll think about whether I want to look for a long if we get up there. I mean, I know if we push above this level, it could come down because of the fact. Yeah, let's put the channel in there because there's always that possibility. So sometimes going long here, you get caught in you're going long and it's just a break and it's coming down. But after that channel up there, you know, if you've made 3 or 4 touches up here, you'd think maybe some range highs. See, quickly looking about that 10,000 tick chart fits nice, and then we got a break. So I think there's still a reasonable chance we push higher, especially as we've only hit one single point. But you have got to be careful you don't get caught in a break. If you go long, as this breaks, it could come down. So you've got to give it a chance to come down, because after a big push like that, we could have a leg. It could go up, it could go sideways before it eventually moves up. So it's hard to say, really. So let's have a look at that NQ, a leg and a leg. That leg's deeper. So I want to see a little break here. Now, if this comes down, I'm guessing it's just a break in a new low, but it's starting to me look like this is moving up. Unfortunately, it's doing it quite quickly without, typically it does this more and more without a way in, which is frustrating. Hey Tony, how you doing, buddy? That indicator all working, is it? What's it eventually got it yesterday? Sean. He had two pop up, I think, in the end. Okay, so channel break, new low. So we've had a perfect measured leg down there. Let's see what happens now. Oh dear. It's a little bit of volatility there on the NQ, so I'm just going to ditch my order just a minute, just in case. So that's interesting. So if we can get above that EMA now, the only issue I have here is a channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. If it fails and comes down. So that measured leg has played out beautifully, so we're okay there. So let's just put that there, because there is a little bit of support there. You can see it there, so you can shift to a 200 tick chart when you have a lot of second entries. You can shift to a 200. Do you mean 200? You can shift to a 200 tick chart. When you have a lot of second entries. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. I'm using trader. Okay, I had to reload bars. Starting to print. Instant and double, perhaps something we try to make for you today. Not sure. 200 tick chart, very fast indeed. Yeah, I bet it is. I've traded the 200 tick chart overnight. Well, just for kind of a bit of fun, really. Still got to be careful here going long, I think. The market moves very fast, actually. Yeah, it certainly does. Okay, so leg down. One attempt to go higher. Second attempt to go higher on the NQ. This is crunch time. This, if it pushes down strongly, this may be even a triple test there. 1, 2, 3. So channel break, new low. Channel down. One attempt to go higher. Second attempt to go higher. They've got to be so careful going along here. It could have a couple of attempts and fail. So a leg up, a little bit of sideways and a leg up. So just got to sit tight here. It could do anything. Channel down, one attempt. It could be like a penguin style trade as we've had a break. 2 attempts to go higher. This thing could come down. That might be one of those trades I look for now and again. Push up, bearish bar. Let's see if that one would have worked. Where's that gone? Where's that gone? Oh yeah, that one. So if you bought at this, that went for 8 ticks. Tight channel, bearish bar, buy at the close of the buy. Sorry, buy at the close of the bar. Well, close of the bar would be there. 2-point risk, 2-point profit. Often when we get these tight channels, that works. Especially it makes it better if it triggers that bar. So let's see if it works. Looks like it. Oh, look at that. Bounced off it. Possible second entry long there. That wouldn't have worked anyway. No. You took that short, did you? There is a lower high there. I mean, channel down, 2 attempts to go higher. It's getting a bit, this NQ is getting a bit choppy. Up, down, up, down. It's a bit dangerous here. Possible failure here. But yeah, it's not safe to get in around here, I don't think, really. Channel down with a break at a new low. It's already technically played out, that has. Whether there's a larger channel or not, I'm not so sure. There could be. But I think it's safer just to sort of to leave that like that. And it's already played out, so let's have a look. There's a failure here. Let's see if this failure triggers. Trouble is, even if it triggers, it's four bars back to back, so it just makes it a lot riskier. There'll be shorts in, well, not quite. Definitely some longs in that trade. So you would think that would more likely get stopped out. That small chart above, 2000 tick, is that the same really? It's just a difference. The bars are slightly different. It's got break at end of day. So there's a slight difference, that's all. Sometimes if we're looking for a trade on here, but the signal bar's not brilliant, it may be better on that. Trouble is, you could say there's a high low. There's going to be stops there, and there, but it's just so congested, which means it could go up or down. 1 minute I think up, next minute I think maybe down. Yeah, it's just got a break at end of day. Sometimes it just gives you a better opportunity, slightly better bar. So you got longs in that trade, shorts in that trade. So there's a bit of a double trap there. So this it may trigger another one here. But it's stacked sideways, so it's a no trade zone for the me, this. My gut feeling is we're probably going to go up. Because we've had a break and we've pushed up and we're going sideways. But it could come down, clear some of this out and retest this before it does. I still think we're likely going to push up for the highs. We've got a channel down with a break and new low. We have hit some support and we have pushed up above that EMA and we're flitting. So I think leg. I certainly think there's a good chance we get up to here somewhere, but whether we do it now, whether we come down here first and clean out some of these stops, or whether we just start turning straight up, I got no idea. But there's some traps around here. Longs in here, shorts in here. So maybe we get breakout, pull back. I'd certainly think there's a lot more shorts stuck in here than longs. I'd say there's lower high there, a failure. There's not as much liquidity here, I'd have said. That one hasn't triggered yet, it has now, but this down here, but I think this is relatively safe down here, so I think these are more vulnerable personally. It's a big ass bar. But then again, it hasn't closed. Well, has it closed below there? Just. This still strikes me as it's likely to go up. Sometimes when we see it does this, slowly comes down, you're thinking we're coming down, all of a sudden morph. So we've got to push up sideways. Now it's cleared out that. Let's see what it does now. I suppose you could trade this as a failed breakout, couldn't you? I don't think that's a bad trade.
Order submitted.
As a failed breakout if it ends up bullish there, because it's cleared out any liquidity here.
Order cancelled.
Mark, how you doing, Mark? There's a thin structure below the pre-market move. Usually thin structures are repaired. Down to 57.70. Yeah, it's hard to say really, isn't it? My God, I mean, usually when we get a channel like this, more often than not, when it has a break of it, it will make a new high or at least make a good attempt. Structures on the 1 minute chart. Yeah. See, a leg and a leg. Let me see if there's just a bigger correction. So, a leg and a leg. Good afternoon to you. How you doing? Dawn Cinema. See, I still think this is going to go up. I'm in a good place now. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm really happy. I'm enjoying me trading now more than ever. It's like I finally got rid of a bad wife. Want a better word. I think at some point you go through that love-hate relationship with you when you just absolutely hate the markets. You just feel like they're making you miserable. But then I think when you learn to deal with the emotional side of it and it doesn't control you and it doesn't take over you, that's when I think things start to sort of, it's a sort of a sort of case of sort of downward misery to a degree, isn't it? You start trading, you make a little bit of money and you think, excellent, and then you start to put some money in and then that happens. And then you seem to go through this little bit down there. You make a bit, lose a bit, make a bit, lose a bit. And then finally you start to plateau and you realise no matter what you do, you can't fight the markets. You just have to be there. And then you start to slowly work your way up. And I think then you kind of hit break even and you realise, actually, if I do what I'm supposed to, we start then to slowly move up. So that's kind of that... let's call it the half circular misery, for want of a better description. We have quite a way with it. Yeah, some people say that, but it's usually not in a complimentary way. But I'm also wary of being optimistic because that's for me also a trap. See. I like to sort of give it that opportunity to do what I think it's going to do, which, you know, we've had quite a fair strong move up. What have we gone up? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, best part of 60 points. So I expect it, or I like to give it enough room to have a correction. and then I see what it wants to do. But if this was coming down now, I'd have expected some steeper movement by now. So my gut feeling is, until we break below that leg, we've got a leg there, a couple of legs up and another leg down. If we start slowly moving up, then my next sort of target is up here. But it's obviously just finding a way in there. He took the breakout, pull back short. That one there, yeah. I think there's a good chance it's coming down for this measured leg. I don't know, whenever I get in there, it tends to chop me up, so I tend to just stay away from it. But it is readable. You can read it. But it's not coming down like a downtrend, really. It looks like down a little bit, and it looks like more of a correction, mind you. On the other hand, if you look at the NQ, that's a different story. Now, if this continues to come down in the channel, or to continue to come down, the ES will generally follow it. So you never quite know. It is useful to have that here to look what the NQ's doing, because that can, I mean, they look pretty identical, really. But it's just had a little bit more of a move down here. Once we're below this, I think it's getting close to game over now before we come down some more. Now, obviously, we can pull down so much and still pull up, but that's gone beyond a correction, I think. There's probably going to be some liquidity down here, so big uptrend, never gets a new high, just go straight down, yeah. So, yeah, ultimately, you never really know. I mean, sometimes I try to think, okay, if I've got this wrong, how could I adjust it so it's had some kind of a break? Now, it actually fits to this level here. It actually fits really nice. Fits in that bottom tier. Then obviously we've had that new spike, which I don't think we need to pay too much attention to, because it's recovered pretty quickly. And then we're back working up here again. So this for me is working up nice. And this is just a break. Now, obviously, from a price action point of view, if you follow Pat's, after a break, more often than not, we make a new extreme or a new high in the case of an uptrend. So we are looking for areas, but, so much of the time now, it doesn't just have a break. If it's a small channel, then we might have two little legs down and continue up. But, my experience is the bigger these moves up, the more of a correction we get before eventually we do move up, if we're going to. But under the circumstances here, I'm not so sure. Thomas Wade always say 61.3 per trade. Yeah, I think we're getting close to that now, aren't we? In fact, we're probably over that by now. So if we go right from the bottom, say, so we're not far off it now. We're kind of in the middle of here and here. I mean, it could still go up. Obviously, the further it comes down to here, it's going to be a really, really, really odd channel, isn't it? I mean, it's not unheard of. It doesn't look right now, but if you come back in 4 hours, we go to the top, bottom, top. But obviously, the further it comes down, the shallower this channel, and the less likely it is. The less likely it's really valid. But we don't want to come down much more than that now. But it's hard to say, really, isn't it? So last couple of days, it's just purely been sideways. In fact, the last 3 days, with the exception of this little push down, we had that sort of little overnight there. And then really we've just continued to go left for 1, 2, 3 days, really. And this is the first time we've broken out of it. So I suppose it makes sense we come back and at least test the tops or maybe push down. So for me, in fact, yeah, Thomas Wade's just put a channel here. I was just going to say, for me, I think it's more likely now. This is coming down. We're coming down quite steep. We've come up, we've come down again. So I think it's more likely we have something like that, I'd say. See, Thomas Wade's got it like that. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's hard to say, really. See, he stretches his bars out like that, which kind of helps things fit, I think, sometimes. But we had a break anyway. We had 2 legs down. We had a perfect measure of legs down, and we had a good go, but it just couldn't get up, and then it dropped. And then it tried a few more times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then after that 4th bar, really, we came back, little pull back, and then we dumped a bit. So we have tried. So now whether we'll range, I mean, I think it's more likely that we could range again. But it may just find a comfortable bottom here where it bounces off again. But that's the trouble when you get days like this. Sometimes it's hard to know what's going on. You like to have more than one touch at the top if you're going to think about a range, tops and bottoms. So you wouldn't automatically think range. We've only hit it once, really, and then. But if it comes down here and up here a few more times, then maybe it is. So there is kind of a bottom there, or a little bit of where we've had a few bounces. So I don't know. It's a bit early to tell, really. So I'm not too concerned about pushing up the new highs now. Now we obviously could hit a point where we may bounce and start to range from we've got a few touches there and one there. We've had kind of 2 little bounces, so you know we could work from this area to this area. So I wouldn't automatically think about going short here unless I've got enough room to the lows. I have a little sheet of paper next to my desk that says taking a trade, look left, and here is a little bit of support. Getting the support off yesterday's range, it breaks through that. Yeah, it's hard to know, but we got a channel down here. One attempt to push higher. I'm not counting this. That is just on the way up there. This is a second attempt to go higher. So if this fails below that, I think there's a good chance then we come down and at least retest these, possibly move lower. So depending on how you look at this, we could have something like that for another leg down. It's hard to say. And you've always got a possibility of a bigger leg, which would get us right down to these lows. So that, not a massive fan of just at the moment. Let's see where this gets to, because I can adjust this a little bit. I'd like to do it, put it there really if I can. Well, that's what you're about there. Yeah, loads of support there for sure, yeah. That's why I've kind of put that there. I did say when we broke above this, we've just going sideways, that it made sense it would bounce possibly around here and either push up or break through it, touch the underside and maybe come down. So if we get a leg and a leg down, we'll come back into the kind of meat of this this sideways stuff where we've been for a few days. So we've got a few touches here. Let's see how this fares. I took that triple test at the bottom. That one there, yeah. Let's break out to ranges fell, yeah. See, that's oh no, okay. It's right in the middle of there, isn't it? I thought that was bouncing off that 61.8 area. See, I think there's a reasonable chance we come down here for another leg. But obviously, there's also a possibility we could be moving up now, and this could be, you know, this could be mainly you know, sort of range in between these areas. It's hard to say, really. I'm going to give this as much as I can, so I'm going to keep it tight to that bar there, and I'm going to open it up till it fits there. So channel break new high. We need a nice bearish here bar here, then hopefully a push down with a lower high. So channel break new high. So far we're still holding in the right area. What's the Q doing? Just wondering if I can make this fit anywhere. I like the way that is working up to that midline. I like the way that's bounced, a little bounce there on that midline. So that midline seems to be playing a part. It's gone right through the middle of those two bars. And we've gone from here. So we've had these two legs down. We've made an attempt to go higher, and that's where we decided to come down. So I've gone from there, touching these. So we've got a channel with a break, one push up, another push up to this area. That would be two pushes up to a new high. And then hopefully, if we can get some sort of bearish bar, that's what I wanted it to close, as long as it doesn't close any higher. Come back. I can adjust that just a smidgen. And it will still work nice. But that's as much as I'm giving it. So channel break, two pushes to a new high. Let's have a look on this NQ. 1, 2, 3, possible triple test on this NQ. And if it is a triple test on the NQ, that may indicate it's coming down. Big bearish bar there. God, that's tempting. It's massive though.
Order submitted.
It's too big, that. See if we get a lower high. That turned in exactly the right place. Unfortunately, the risk's just too big, which is a shame. I'd have had me 3 points by now. Come back a little bit. I think the way that turned down like that, I like this as well. 1, 2, 3. It's a triple test. So this is looking bearish. It's just a shame, really. Tick below there. Yeah, that's comfortable. That would have made 3 points really quickly. That's a shame.
Order cancelled.
So I think there's a good chance now that that's bounced where I was hoping it would. And look at that selling there. So there's definitely traders thinking that this is, well, look at that straight away. You think how much selling there is there to continue that down. So look at that. If I could have got in there, that would have been a quick 11, 12 points, 11 points straight down. That's a shame. Never mind. She's probably going up. Yeah, I don't think so. Not now. Where's my thing gone? Strange. Yeah. Thomas Wade beat me to it. He's done the same. Just 58 1 minute ago. So that's a shame, really. It was just, I was waiting for the lower high. It was just a bit too far from that. We had a channel, 1, 2 pushes up to a new high. I don't like to just jump in. I always like just that sort of confirmation. I always like just a lower high, just in case I'm missing something. which is a shame because that was beautiful. It came down beautifully. Oh, I'll comment. I didn't age well. That's why I like to sort of put in some areas where I think it could turn. And it did monumentally, isn't it? It's just a shame, really. If that had been a bit lower, the thing is, it was a big bar. It came down quick. But sometimes when something moves quick, I used to have a habit of jumping straight in, but I tend to wait and think a little bit now. And unfortunately, doing that, sometimes you just miss out on that. But it's just one of those things. You don't know it's going to reverse that quick. I had that line there because I thought it was an area where it may turn, but I didn't expect it to turn so quick. Once that starts to go, you're never going to get in there, unfortunately. You have to be quick. Thomas Wade took the trade. No, I don't think he did. No, he didn't. The trouble is, it moved that quick. I'm assuming I put that there a little bit before Thomas Wade did, so maybe when it turned there, he just connected the dots. I had that there, hoping it was going to turn there. Unfortunately, what it did, great. I sort of worked out where it could go, which is good, but it just moved that quick, really. Nothing you can do, really, sometimes. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I don't know it's going to do that. I just thought if I connect that, it fits nice there, and we're aiming towards this. And if it does get here and turn, then if I'd have got a higher low there, I would have taken it. But the trouble is, the thing is, you could see there was a lot of selling there, but obviously some people might just put that there and think when it gets to there, we'll sell it. May just be part of your strategy. But a lot of traders might have areas here that say, if it gets to here, I'm going to sell. We wait for a bar to close. Unfortunately, when a bar closes bearish like that off the top, if you're not quick, you can miss it. But you can see how it turned, and it was in a good, strong place because that selling pressure just sent the thing downwards quick. Thomas Wade has become a swing trader. He has had some really good runners lately, but I think he still goes for I think between 2 points and 10 ticks. Thomas does, but he always has a runner. But I think it's good to have a swing trading strategy as well as a scalping strategy. When I first started to learn to trade, I was part of a group of traders. Run by a guy called Andrew Lockwood, and there was an American trader in there who'd been trading for 25 years, and he did a bit of a talk, and he said when you start to learn to trade, you tend to veer towards a certain style of trading. Depends on your mentality. Some people who are very calculated, very methodical, people who are happy to put a lot of work in and wait for that moment, may make better swing traders. Some people who have itchy feet, may want a little bit more movement, may make better scalpers. But that's what he did. He said it was a bit of an odd combination in that world, that you were a swing trader and a scalper. But I think it's good to have different strategies. The thing about being a swing trader is you do have a little bit more time to think about the decision you're making. Whereas it hit that turn down and then it's gone. So you have very little time. And that is subject to mistakes, sometimes impulsive mistakes, which I think is the nature of scalping, but it must be quite refreshing if all you've ever done is scalp to swing trade once in a while. So it'd be nice. 7 scalp, 1 runner. Yeah, see, if you can trade, I just go for a flat 3 points now. I've been through the charts and I've been through trades and trades and trades, and I've worked out how much you will earn, or how much I'd have earned, or how much Thomas Wade, Mark, I've been through all his trades again and again and again, and worked out which is the financially the better option to go for a point and a half, 2 points, or 3 points, and 3 points shone massively. And the thing I like about 3 points is there's not a massive amount of trades now compared to there was on this chart 3 years ago. 3 years ago, there was a lot more. I was seeing 3 to 4 really good, solid, obvious setups a day. We don't seem to get that now. And the good thing about going for more points is less trades. Now, I could make a stack of money by taking 2 good, solid trades a week and having an 80% win rate, which if you're taking really good quality trades, there's no reason why you can't. And trading 2 contracts, two and a half trades a week on average, on an 80% would make you around about $2,000 per trade. So even if you had a naff month and you only earned half of that, over 10 or 20 accounts, that soon bumps up that amount of money. So the thing I like about 3 points is you don't need to take a lot of trades. And I like that. I'd rather take less trades, but better quality ones. You know what I mean? We've hit that area again, guys. Look, channel, maybe an overshoot of a channel. I don't know. Trouble is, sometimes when this happens again, this is where it suckers you in, because you think, oh, when it gets up there next time. But that looks like a little overshoot there. 4 ticks, yeah. But do you know, he came out, didn't he, Mac, about a month ago, and said if you're only trading 1 or 2 contracts, don't bother scalping for a point. You're not going to make any money. You have to mitigate that smaller scalp amount with a runner, making you some money. 3 points in middle ground between scalp and swing, yeah. I see a lot of people, I think the majority of people that I know trade for about 2 points. So if you just go through all your trades, I save my charts every day. I've done for over 3 years now. And if you go back over your trades and just work out what you'd have made if you go for a point and a half, 2 points, a point, 3 points, whatever, and one will stick out, and it was clearly over 20 trades, I'd have been $650 better off. And I took some poor trades. But it just seemed to me the ideal amount, and all I really need to do is find a couple of good quality trades a week, and that would give me all the money I need. But, you've got to be patient waiting for better quality trades. Oh, absolutely. But that's my point. I said that would make you $2,000, even if you only earn half of that, which obviously would significantly drop that 80%. It's still $1,000 per account. If you've got 10 or 20 accounts, you can still earn a good amount of money. Yeah, see, an overshoot, in a lot of cases, you'd expect it to come down. See, well, we've only really touched this bottom, so I wouldn't say that was an overshoot particularly, because it's only hit that twice. But this overshoot, stroke break of a channel, you would think would lightly come down, but this market's been a bit finicky lately. I'm pretty sure if you mark that, there's a channel down there, which we've had a break and made a new low, so it's just hard to say really, isn't it? But I think for me personally is wait till a trade is that obvious. You can't click the button quick enough for the trades to go for. When you got this sort of stuff, your brain's kind of working out, okay, it's an overshoot. Is it going to come So there's still too much speculation here to take a trade, but if we make a beautiful trade down here, channel down here, and have two perfect legs up, and the second leg is beautiful and bearish, and it's a bearish down here, those are the trades you don't even need to think about. You can't put an order in quick enough, but when it gets to these areas, it's a bit finicky, and you're just not sure what it's going to do. And well, it's going down there, but there's no entry, which is a shame. Yes, it's an overshoot, and you may think, okay, maybe we take a failure here. If we have a second entry long and trap some longs, maybe we take a short there, but it's just gone up and come down. Makes me think the bigger downtrend as an overshoot shouldn't have widened. Maybe. But even with an overshoot, a lot of the time you'll still come down and make a new low. That doesn't look like a reversal to me because we've pushed up. If it was an overshoot there, a lot of times we'll have a bigger correction. That's a nice, slow, consistent channel up with a strong push up there, but then it's come back quite strong. So the trouble is there's so much grey area with trading. It's down to experience again and again. The more times you lose, the more times you learn from it, and the more you understand where the market goes and why it bounces where it does for a certain reason, and that all that information going in your head month after month sooner or later starts to produce that experience and gut feeling of when and sort of where to get in. But I mean, look at that. It's clearly come down. We've pushed up. We've had that overshoot and it's come down pretty strong, but there's just no way in. Let's take a... Yeah, I mean, if there'd have been a second entry or a lower higher, then maybe I'd have had a go at it. But so many times now, when what happens is quite obvious, it just shoots off in that direction and doesn't necessarily give you a... it makes you wonder, are people just jumping in now more than waiting for a certain setup? Spot these trades and ideas, even if you don't. Yeah, absolutely. It certainly does. Give you experience, yeah. Yeah, it spends. I mean, look at that. Look, straight down. There's no way in there, unfortunately. But that's the beauty about going for 3 points for me personally. I've only got to try and find a trade. I had a trade day before yesterday. In fact, I haven't taken a trade the last couple of days, but if you wait for a good quality trade, you'll get a nice win percentage. And as I say, even if you don't, even if I lose another couple and only get 70%, you still earn a ton of money out of that. Yeah, no low, no setup. There's not even one bar that's pulled back a little bit there. Well, that's broken above another one. It's just straight down. Trouble is, I guarantee you, as soon as you start to see that down and you decide to jump in, it's where it will trigger you and pull back and stop you out. See someone else. Okay, there may be. I was just going to say that. I noticed someone in my eye line that there's a bigger channel there. So I just thought when that pushed up there, is these tops going to line, and they have. Now, if that fits there, it's only hit twice, so it is, I don't think it matters where you put that, but for now, you had a lower high in the NQ. Yeah, they're quite aligned, these are at the moment. They're looking quite well, this top's a little bit different, but they kind of look a lot the same. That's obviously fallen slightly different. I'm not trading this at the moment anyway. But it's doing a little bit of what it did yesterday, these big sweeping moves without any... We had the same yesterday. Big sweeping moves, really, without any setups, as opposed to little bits here or there. And it's kind of looking like we're having the same today. Okay, channel down with a break. Yeah, it could. You may go short here and it may come up to this area. Down, up, down. It's just having the patience to stay out when you're not really sure what's going on. There are plenty of times when it's easy to read and you can see exactly what's happening, and we get a good trade. So all I've got to do really, if I'm trading 3 hours a day, is find a couple of trades in 15 hours of sitting in front of the market. If I'm finding I'm not finding 2 trades, and I'll just extend my trading time by an hour a day. But no. Channel down. Well, if we get a second leg up, then we may have an opportunity. But so many times it just has a break on these smaller channels. It doesn't give you an option and then straight down to a new low. It is frustrating, really. Thomas Wade said, would consider a second entry short. Not a chance. Look at that. It has a break and just rocket straight down. See, the only way to get in there is to just put a sell order there. But from a Pat's point of view, we can't. But a lot of traders will, once you have a break and it starts to go up, they'll sell up here. And obviously you can see someone sold because we had 4 big bars straight down. You got on the NQ. So pretty close to the bottom of this channel. So we're in relation to the day. So we've had a break out of this. We've come back in. I haven't tried them yet, Bud. I think it's quite pricey, isn't it? Isn't it about $400 for an account? I am doing a little bit with my funded futures. I've got an account with them, and I'm swing trading that a bit overnight. I kind of like my funded futures. I think I like the end of day drawdown. It gives you the opportunity to go for a bigger swing. Quick payments as well. I had an affiliate payment of about $80, I think. And it got paid into, I had it go into a crypto account, so their payments are quick. I think all you need is 5 days, and then it's a quick payment. But I've not done anything with Fast Track. It's quite a bit of money, I think. So I just don't know how I feel about the CEO. If you've heard him, he doesn't come over like a professional business owner to me. I've heard him talk a little bit here or there, and he just comes over as, I don't know whether it's me or not, he comes over as a little bit childish and a little bit mouthy, and he effing this and effing that. Just doesn't, some of the things he says that I've seen and some of the comments, it just doesn't come over to me as someone who I'd expect to be, to run a multi-million-dollar company. So I don't know. That's not necessarily the reason. But I think it's about $400. I have got a link to it on me and here on the website. But I've not tried them. It's just purely the money, I think, at the moment. Right, he's just growing up as a... Yeah, if you hear him talk sometimes, he sounds like a bit of a yob. I don't know if you guys know US guys, a yob, just that he's a little bit... Not the brightest out there, but he's got more mouth than brains type thing. That's kind of how he comes out. That just might be the way I'm seeing it, so don't take my word for it. But just some of the silly little arguments he seems to have gotten with people, he just doesn't come over like a professional businessman that you want to try to trust with your money. But that just might be me. Perhaps I'm a bit of a snob, I don't know. Maybe I am. But they do seem to pay people. And you can go... I'm hoping that companies like Fast Track Trader will send the prop firm industry into moving more straight into live accounts rather than evaluations, because I think they're the first company to do it. There may be another, I'm sure somebody mentioned, there may be another, but I think more and more companies, or I'm hoping more and more companies might avoid the evaluation and move into that side of it. Obviously, you're going to pay a bit more money, but I think sometimes having cheaper evaluations can get you into a mentality of gambling. I know, because I've done it myself. When, sometimes you're paying, we've had as much as 90% off and you're paying about $17. It's very easy, if things aren't going right, to go, I'll take a risk here for 5 contracts and see if I can't get a bit lucky. And the trouble is, once you do it a few times, it's very easy to get that bit of a buzz, that you get from taking risks. And I think sometimes it may lead you down, not the ideal place to go. It's almost like when companies do like this, like the food manufacturers put in sugar and everything because they know when you eat this stuff, you're going to buy more. It's kind of that type of scenario. They're kind of sort of teasing you in with cheap, tasty sort of, snacks that are bad for you. So, and I've said this from day one, really. Now, I know you guys use my code and I get a bit of money from affiliates, but I have said this for a while. Until you can keep look at that. Until you can keep a PA account, I think really you only really want one, maybe a couple of evaluations at a time. Because if you copy traded them and you make one mess up, you're copying it to others. So I think if you are newish and moving on to, don't get me wrong, I think evaluations are a great form of exercise to get you into that experience of having some skin in the game where you've got to eke out those emotions and you've got to learn to manage them and, learn to get used to them. But I think when you're relatively new, only really get one evaluation, because you are going to throw a lot of money. And I'm telling you that because I've thrown a ton of money away myself. And I wish kind of someone had told me that when I started. Just be careful how much you throw away. And certainly, and I genuinely mean this, if you're new to trading, do not put any of your own money into your own account, because you'll just burn it. You will. I've done it. Just if you want to get into it and start to get that little bit of experience of what it feels like, just stick with the prop firms. It's by far the best way. This is a tough place to trade here. I think this is a bit risky. So channel breakdown 2 pushes down to a new low. There is a second entry short there, which shot down quickly but then reversed. Yeah, if I can help some of you newer guys with a little bit of advice on what not to do and learn from me, that's one of them. Just limit what you put into this, because it doesn't come easy. It does take time. You're looking at a few years at least before you really start to sort of get some sort of, understanding, not so much understanding, but getting to the place where you might start to make some money, because, getting used to those emotions is really hard going. Yeah, I still don't like this. But whatever you do, don't do what I did after a month and give up your job and go into it full time. It just doesn't work. Yeah, sometimes I tell people that I gave my job off in a month. I told my boss to shove his job up his arse. Came home, stuck 5,000. Well, I put 3,000 initially and I lost that. Put another 2,000, lost that. Yeah, you are not going to make money until you've been doing this a while. So really just be careful what you put into it, because it can be very addictive, especially when you're getting cheap. Not so much now. I'm kind of glad in a way they don't do the 90%, because you can throw so much money at that because it's cheap. The cheaper something is, the less value it has to you. So you're going to take risks, and it can develop a bit of a gambling addiction. I know I've had to be, I've had to think myself at times. I did look at that bar there. It's kind of 2 legs up, but it's very congested. In fact, you may even say that's a breakout, but we're halfway back in. So, but yeah, I've done some really stupid things, I have. I sat here one night. Most of you guys know I like my whiskey, I like my single malt, and I sat here one night, I think it was on a Friday, and I opened a bottle of, I can't remember what it was, I opened a bottle of scotch online and had a little drink, and I carried on drinking, and by the end of the night I'd blown 10 evaluations, one after another. So it's very easy when they're cheap just to throw money at them. All these prop firms give, yeah, they do. They're not silly, are they? Like I say, it's almost like the food manufacturers putting sugar in your food. They know it's going to be highly addictive, and you're going to come back and buy more. And then they're the first to say to you, then, we don't want schemers and gamblers and swing and all that sort of stuff, windfall traders. But when they're giving you 90% off, they're actually designing those people. I think it's hypocritical if sometimes these prop firms will say, we don't want gamblers, we don't want windfall traders, we want steady traders. And then the next minute they're giving you 90% off, which is encouraging you to take risks, which is unfair, really. It's easy to get cut up here. Well, you could say there's a triple test, but let's count that as 1 push-up, that as 2, and that as the third one. It certainly got down below the bottom. See, it certainly got a few points out. I was kind of hoping we may pop above there and trap that long. And then I may have thought about a lower high, but the trouble is, what I don't want to do is take a long gear, really. The bias just at the current moment is down, so I'd rather take my trades from the top or breakout. That's not to say it can't rocket up. It certainly can, but Exactly right, mate. Exactly right. The odds are in their favour. They certainly are, yeah. They certainly are. You know, they know doing certain things are addictive. Yeah, I'm hoping there's going to be a little bit of restrictions on some of these, where you can maybe go in and tick a box to only allow you to do 10 a month or something like that, because I bet there are a lot of people that have put an awful lot of money. I bet there are people who have put tens of thousands into this, and maybe onto credit cards. I know you can use credit cards because I use mine and then pay it off. But yeah, I'm hoping that they are going to have some sort of restrictions where you can say, okay, only allow me this much a month, because there's probably a lot of people throwing a lot of their money away. So I'm just going to adjust this a touch and put this there. I don't know. I thought we might get... So it's gone a bit too far for a leg, isn't it? Yeah, it should do. Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. Yeah, the thing I like about some of the prop firms is, what I like about my funded futures, if you if you're down $1,200 in a day, if I took an evaluation, I lost $1,200 in a day, it won't let you trade till the following day. So at least it gives you that chance to come back, because once you lose that an evaluation, it's very easy to just go all in, and you end up messing up and blowing it. So I like the fact that I think Top Step does something as well, where it implements something to stop you getting in there and losing it all in a day. And I kind of like that. It does say that at least it gives a little bit of a damn about whether you're going to lose, you know. There is a lower high there. Trappings them longs. Just not sure I feel about that, though. It's a big-ass bar. Risk management tools are all dumb. You're damn right, yeah. Human beings are inevitably dumb for a certain reason, because not dumb in a nasty way, but we're ruled by our emotions. It's not our fault. It's just the way we're born. You know, we tend to, when we have something, we don't want to lose it. You know, we want to keep it. It's ours, give it back. It's kind of in our genes, and it's not our fault. And some companies will, they obviously know all the data, and they prey on it. I was watching a program, actually, why I mentioned sugar, and I was watching that, what's the guy called that was on Dragon's Den in the UK, the black guy, what's his name, Stephen Bartlett. Really clever guy. He's a businessman, and he has a YouTube channel where he interviews certain experts, and there was a sugar expert, and he was saying, about the issues with sugar, how sugar, and if you add things like diabetes, heart disease, all the things that sugar gives you, it's killed more people than every other drug there is out there together, and every other world war in history. Sugar's killed more people. I heard an expert say once, you'd be better off giving your kids pure heroin because it's going to do them less harm. If you think about it, what's cocaine? It's a plant, isn't it? It's been manufactured and processed into a white powder. Sugar, it's a plant. It's been manufactured and processed into a white powder. It's absolutely deadly. Which is why I mentioned the sugar earlier. But the food manufacturers have known this for years, and that's why they spike things and they call it different things, so people are unaware. You start eating the stuff, you put a load of weight on, highly addictive, and you're kind of screwed. I bet Apex will someday ban. I did wonder when I first heard about that Guardian Angel trader, I think that will create such a backlash. I can't see. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't recover, because they're basically saying, you know, you're using a piece of software to help protect yourself against gambling. And for them to come out and say, no, we don't want you to use it, I think will create a lot of animosity towards Apex. So I will be surprised if they did that. That would basically be saying, no, we want you to become addicted. So let's have a look what is going on here. I dare say there's going to be shorts there. They banned my friend from buying more evals after 60. Okay, yeah. Deleted the PAs, moved on. Yeah, I think when people make money, there's kind of a higher low there trapping them. When people are making money, they seem to, after a while, put them onto what do they call it? They put them onto oh man, it's gone blank. You know what I mean? And they sort of they say that they're going to well, someone tell me what I'm forgetting here. They put them onto it's gone. Someone tell me. Yes, if he's making money, see, they're going probation. Yeah, sorry, thanks, Sean. Yeah, they put you onto probation, and they're basically, you know, so if someone's making money, whether it's just a line, we're putting you on probation, and it's a high or low there, we're putting you on probation, and then they could very easily say when you're on probation, I'm sorry, you trade pretty risky, you're not for us. And it may be a way of getting rid of profitable traders. But then they may say, okay, yeah, you're fine. We think you're a good trader. Let's put you onto a live account. So it's hard to know why they're doing these things, because, you know, when you sign up to these peer accounts, it doesn't say they could all of a sudden turn around and put you on probation. You can't take your money until it's above a certain amount. But I don't know. I think some things that Apex do just create a little bit of animosity. You know, with all of a sudden, you know, having people having to make videos to prove who they are. It shouldn't be a matter of having to prove who you are. They should prove you're not who you say you are. So I think sometimes they create their own, you know, problems for themselves. So I don't know. Now we've got a channel up here with a bit of breaks. Very tempting to say that's a hidden second entry long, but we are really in a downtrend. So although it may trigger, it may not get far. And I think it's risky taking that at the moment, because we really are still moving down until, you know, it says otherwise. So, well, that's the thing, isn't it? You just don't know. They say they may move traders onto live accounts, but are they? I mean, if they do, if it's because you're making good money in this, and they genuinely mean, okay, this guy's making money, let's put him on probation, just keep an eye on him, and if he continues to trade well, we'll put him onto a live account. He can make money, we'll copy his trades and make money. Now, if that's the case, which we're led to believe, there's nothing wrong with that. That way they're making money. It makes sense. They're making money out of people who fail, and then when people eventually make money, we're making money out of them. But if you get to the stage where you make money, they put you on a probation, they say, no, we don't want you, to push you away, word will soon spread, and people will go, what's the point in staying with these? Because as soon as I make money, they're going to get rid of me. You know, they're not going to allow you to make money. So, you know, I like to think, give them the benefit of the doubt and saying, as long as they are then putting people on, it's just not a line to stop people withdrawing money and to slowly get rid of them. Then people will make their own minds up then, won't they? What is this thing doing at the moment? Let me clean this up a little bit. So touch kind of works okay if I squeeze it a little bit and a break. But it's just a bit risky here, I think, trading. It's it's not really clear. You're drawing a range. Yeah, I've just put that line there, so maybe there is. So let's put one at the bottom. Well, we know there's one at the bottom. We had a small range there, didn't we? So it could bounce off here. So that there was a little break there. It did push up, but there's no real... I mean, you may argue there's a hidden second entry. I don't like that. And at the moment, price is coming down. So you are counter-trend trading, hoping that it is going to go up enough. There is a possibility it could break up, not get above here, and continue down some more. So channel break, new high. So let's see now. I don't want to take a trade here, because it could trigger you and then come up after the break for two legs. So excuse me a sec, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay, right. So a little break. We're up to the top now. Now, my only concern is here. If this channel's slightly different and we've already had a break and a new low, this could be kind of a bottoming pattern, and it could push up. So how far have we come down? There is space further down. So the trouble is, if you don't take a short here, it may rock it down like it did last time, but it was there, wasn't it? Yeah. But unfortunately, we have to wait for a setup. Otherwise, we'd be taking a punt. And trust me, whenever you decide to do that, never works well. Not a great signal bar. So channel break, new high. You could say two pushes up. A little push with a pullback and a second push. So let's have a look on this NQ. Okay, so we've got an area here where we're definitely coming into, where it's turned previously once, twice. So this could come down again. And unfortunately, like last time, it may just come down. We may not even get a lower high. I'm going to get an order ready just in case we do.
Order submitted.
But my gut feeling is the last couple of times we just haven't had an entry. Can't just go short there, fortunately. Trouble is, like that bit there. back up to the top and turned again. But I don't think this is going to close bearish, is it, unfortunately? So look here. So we are bouncing here, which is kind of where a lot of that's. Let's just get something a little bit better than that. Yeah. We know markets prices turning around there, don't we? That's as high as it's been. It turned there, turned there, turned there. So we may come into here and it may continue down. So that's I think an area where it is turning. It came in there, bounced and pushed up. We came up, came back, bounced. We came down here, bounced twice. So this area, there's definitely some volume around here. So I think it's likely that this could continue down. We've pushed up, come back. We've pushed up, come back. So a second entry long here that triggers a long failure may be an option to go short. I'm hoping we get a second entry long which triggers and gives us a failure. But I'm hoping the failure will be down here somewhere, ideally. Under that. So 2 legs down, bullish bar here, trigger. There is a failure, but there's nothing you can really do there, unfortunately. It's just a little bit congested there. See, this to me in the NQ is in kind of a nice fitting channel, so I think there's a good chance this is, if this is possibly going to push higher, it may just, well, it's already cleared any liquidity that may be there. So is it going to continue up a bit?
Order
which
cancelled.
maybe is causing this to go up. Trouble is, we're sort of, it does almost look like a bit of bottom in there. We bounce, started pushing up. There's no guarantees we're going to get above it, but if we do, this could go a bit higher. So channel break 1, 2 pushes to a new high. That's cleared. So yeah, I definitely think it's good to have at least a couple of prop firms. I've got a MyFunny Futures and an Apex. Jan's mentioned Top Step. I may have a look Top Step. I think it's good to have a couple or, 2 or 3. Certainly for the fact that, I'd only ever worked with Apex up until recently. Trouble is, if anything does ever happen to one particular prop firm, it's good to go through the motions of paying, setting these accounts up and just seeing how they work. So at least if something does happen to one, you could swiftly move straight into another. But I think that, the companies are getting better and better, and there's more of them, and they're all fighting for our business. So we're still hoping for this information to come from Apex on these new rules, or not new rules, new features we're supposed to be having, or new features. There's supposed to be new rules, I think. I think they were talking about going up to a 40%. 40%. It's gone blank today. It's 30% at the moment. Top Step is good. Yeah, I don't think I may have had one with them quite a while back, but I can't remember it. I got a message from one of them offering me a free. Was it offering me a free one? I can't remember. Trouble is, when you're sort of a YouTuber or streamer, you get messages all the time from companies offering you this and that. I'm getting a lot lately offering me crypto trading platforms. Someone, in fact, I got a phone call and an email yesterday offering me this. Would I change to a new platform? They'll allow me to, for free, give me an affiliate link to it. Would I introduce it to my viewers? But people don't just randomly decide to change. Usually I've been using NinjaTrader for over 3 years. I wouldn't randomly trade over, move on to something else. And if I don't think it's any benefit to any of you guys, then it's no point me having it. No point me putting it on here. It's just going to bore you. When you have 5 days, profit more than $200, you can request a payout on Top Step. Interesting. I might have a go at one next week. I've got my MyFunny Futures one, but I ain't done too well in it the last couple of nights. I was swing trading overnight, and last night would have managed to give me a bit of a payment, and I completely went the wrong direction. But there you go, it happens. So this channel in the NQ is fitting nice. So I'm just wondering now whether this is a break. So maybe we put that there somewhere and then maybe take that down to there or not. I don't know. How does that bottom fit? Not too bad. So maybe it is something like that. And we've had a break and a new low. This does look like a bottoming pattern to me. Trouble is, if I think we're going to come down and make a new low, you can miss this move. This is going up quite nicely. So just looking at the overall. So let's just concentrate on this. I think it's gone up as a channel enough now, I think, isn't it? Touch, touch, touch. Come down a fraction. there is a possibility I may not be trading on Tuesday. We've got we're getting rid of our gas worktop and we've got a new induction hob coming. And that's being fitted. Now, I'm guessing it's not going to take long, but I don't know whether they're going to... Well, I'm not going to know until the day whether they're going to do it in the morning or the afternoon. Apparently, you get an email in the morning or a message in the morning. So there is a possibility I may have to miss Tuesday. 5 days more, $200. Yeah, that's the same as my fund of futures, so that's pretty good. I think they got a pretty good name, Top Step, haven't they? In fact, look at my YouTube channel. I have got an affiliate on there. Where is it? Not YouTube. Oh. I thought I had Top Step on my website. I haven't. No, I mentioned it to you a while ago. I was 55 in June, and I took a lump sum of my pension out, a private pension I had. In fact, I had they taxed me at 40%. I just took a chunk out. I took about 60 odd thousand out. And I paid a ton in tax, and I just had an email from the Inland Revenue yesterday saying they give me an extra 12,900 back. So we're just upgrading a few things. So we upgraded the car. We're going sofa hunting tonight at DFS, so we're going to buy a new sofa. We've had our last one for 10 years. We've got 2 dogs and it's ripped to shreds. And we're buying a new bed. We bought a new 65-inch TV a while ago, and we got a gas hob, 6-ring gas hob, but it's just a pain in the arse to keep clean. And I don't like gas anyway, so we've just bought an induction hob, just a four burner thing, induction hob. So yeah, I'm not making a ton of money. I make some from the affiliates. That helps me not have to go to work. But YouTube, you don't make much from YouTube. I think realistically, YouTube, you make about £20 a month, $28. I think I get something like that a month from YouTube. But I make a bit from affiliates. That helps me. That's why I appreciate you guys using the code, because it gives me just enough with my wife's wage, so I don't need to go to work, so I can trade full time. I was doing a few weekends just to top my money up, but now I've had this pension. I got a little bit of it in crypto and stuff, or some of it, so hopefully those extras should just give me just enough. My wife's on a reasonable wage anyway, so. Radio screen. Ah, you're talking about the, it's a radio module. They've only just got that in fact. We bought a Vauxhall Grand Index. It wasn't a lot of money. We paid about £11,500 for it. It's 2.5-year-old Vauxhall. But when we bought it, the radio wasn't working in it. The radio, the screen, with the sat nav and all that, it wasn't working. And they said it needed updating. So what happened is the person who'd had it before, it wasn't working, and they changed miles over to kilometres. So when they advertised the car, they advertised it at 50,000 miles. So we bought it, and when they found all this, they said they wouldn't pay for it because it's only actually done 30,000 miles. Not, they thought it was kilometres. So the extra value that they would sell it for, but I chatted to the manager and I did a deal that if I pay £500 towards it, they pay the other 900 or whatever. But it's been on back order for the last 7 weeks, but it came in on Monday. So hopefully next week we'll be able to get it. But yeah, it wasn't the screen. I bought a screen off eBay. Got my a friend of mine who's good with electrics to put it in. It didn't work, but we got it into Vauxhall and they looked at it, and it's the actual radio module itself. What that is, I've got no idea. But trouble is, it's got sat nav, reverse cameras, and all that sort of stuff. Radio, but we haven't been able to use none of it for the last sort of 8 weeks. Yeah, well, he said, I'll give you the money back for it now, but we'll put it back on the forecourt for an extra £1,500. So we got a good deal anyway. So I sweet talked him a bit, and I said, look, we've already got it now. I can bring it back and all this, but how about we come to an arrangement? And he was a nice guy, actually. I got on well with him. I noticed he had some golf clubs in the corner, so I started talking about golf, and I know jack shit about golf. But we struck off a nice relationship with him anyway. And we come to an agreement. I pay £500 and he'll pay, I think it's about 900. So out of good faith. But yeah, hopefully it'll be done. Okay, there is a leg down and a leg down here. This might not be a bad trade yet.
Order submitted.
Let me have a look. I may wait for a higher low. But we've come back to this key entry point. But yeah, you don't realise how much you miss not being able to play music. All that sort of stuff. Can't connect your phone to it because everything goes through the screen.
Order cancelled.
So yeah, we're not making a fortune. I just cashed in some pension, that's all. Private pension I had. But if you ever get some of your pension, don't tell your kids. My daughter said to me, can we fly to Abu Dhabi to watch Coldplay? So, yeah, once she realises you've got some, they try to get their mitts into it. Mind you, in all fairness, we did put £10,000 in a bank for her to help her out when she hits 18, so... Got to help your kids, haven't you? I got a little bit when I was 18. Not much. In fact, I got a bit that was put aside for me. My dad was in the army and he was killed over in Northern Ireland when I was 3 years old, and my mum got £75 compensation. Bear in mind, it was a few years ago, but it was still nothing. £75. It cost her that to move. Crazy, isn't it? What the hell is going on here? In fact, it was talking yesterday, Mac actually, was talking about this, saying it's really hard trading. So if you didn't take a trade yesterday in all that lot, I'd give yourself a pat on the back, because that takes quite a bit of patience sitting through all that lot. And I'm quite happy when I haven't taken a trade, as long as I haven't missed anything. You done, are you? Yeah, you take it easy and have a good weekend, my friend. Thanks again for this bit of software you're allowing us to use. It's definitely making keeping track of your trades a lot simpler than some of these other things you can buy. They're that complicated, you don't use half of it. So I appreciate that, mate. See, Thomas Wade's now put that back. So maybe we do that. So perhaps this is a break, and eventually with a new low. I wouldn't expect that just to come straight down though to a new low. He hasn't got that as one channel out. I actually don't think that's bad as a channel. He's got it like that, I think. Maybe. It is. I think you can get it on. I think it's on the Facebook group. You put it on the Facebook group. It's a little program. It's called Pat's Journal. This is it here. So you can add your charts to it. Obviously, add your profits to it. Add loads of information. But he's given us this for free to use, so it's pretty nice. He's designed it, and he's constantly updating it as well. So that's it. Pat's Journal. In fact, look, about 3 or 4 days ago on. 3 or 4 days ago on the Facebook group, and I think it's on there for you to. He's allowing you to use it for free, so it's pretty good of him. This triple test might hold. Let's see, triple test. You're about here, are you? Not sure about that. I think this is more likely to come down. Channel break. Your copier. Are you using stop limit or stop market orders? I always use limit orders, mate. So if I buy, I always use a buy limit order. They're more likely to all trigger with a trade copier. Market orders sometimes. If you put a market order, sometimes it'll trigger some of them, but I think a limit order's better because I like waiting for it to push above and then I drop it there. And not only that, sometimes if you put a market order and you hold it there ready, sometimes when you drop it, if you're holding it here waiting for that signal bar, when you drop it and it pops up at the same time, it kicks the order off, and then you've got to right click and go for it all again. So I like hovering there. If I'm waiting for this to go bullish, I'll hover right on the nail there with the limit order, and the second it finishes and triggers above, I drop it. And I just find you get less problems. You don't get kicked out, and it just sits there till it gets triggered. Whereas if you drop a market order, same time as that pushes up and hits it, it kicks it off. So it's just it works better, I think. Stop limit and missed it. I mean, sometimes you do miss them. Yeah, if price moves quick, you know you can miss them. But you know, if you're waiting for a bar, even if you hover one tick above the bar and drop it, you can still use market orders if you're not trade copying a lot. But if I've trade copied, say 10 accounts with a market orders, sometimes it'll only trigger some of them, and I find that a bit problematic. You know, you still can get issues from time to time. But for me, it's kind of the lesser of two evils. But yeah, it is annoying sometimes. The other option is just to click buy or sell. And that obviously gets you in straight away without having to right click and select anything really. Yeah, some traders just use those. I know some traders will just click buy, sell, or just click close when they've had enough. This thing is diving now, isn't it, I think? Yeah, well, look, don't go down too far. Liquidity there. Definitely some down here. We had triple bouncy and then we had a higher low there. If it gets through that, there is a bit of an overshoot there, so hopefully we get a bit of a correction here. But it is definitely trying for this, for the lows. But after that overshoot there, I wouldn't be thinking about shorting there, so I'd want to get out there. My Funny Futures, it said you need a profit margin of minimum 5 points. Is that true? Yes. Well, I asked a guy on the one of the moderators and said, can you scalp for 2 points? And he says yes. But sometimes you add mixed things. But I think the safest bet, mate, is to trade it on the NQ. If you try one, do it on the NQ. Because 2 points on here averages 15 points on the NQ. So if you trade the NQ, you've got no worries. But I believe they are relaxing it a bit, but I'm not going to swear to it. So I'd say if you use one, mate, trade it on the NQ. You're safe then, and just wait for a bit more information. Yeah, we'll put it this way. If I'm going to go for, this is on a sim here, so let me take a long trade here on a sim, yeah. So that's that tiny move there. 76 is 9.5 points. That tiny move, 9.5 points. You're going to go for more than that. You know, if I was going to buy above there, my stop would be there. Profit would probably be up here. So what was it? 76, 86. It's 14 points there. So a small move on here. What I say is 2 points on the ES is around about 15 points on the MQ, on the NQ, sorry. So more than enough on here to trade. So 76, what are we now? We're at 5 points now. So if I get out there, what about 83, 84, 75, 650, that's 350, 455, 56, 750. That's 8.25 points there. Look how that tiny moves. So to be safe, I would trade on here. Wait for a bit more information to come out before you trade it on the ES.
Order filled.
But I have had a couple of people say, Charlie Baker said he's traded a couple of points and he got paid. But I don't want to say yes to and then they have any issues with it. But until we get a bit more information that they are changing things, I think just trade on the NQ, which is what I kind of like. I trade the ES on the one chart and on the Apex on the ES. and my funded futures on here. And I go for the same sort of move, but obviously this a smaller move on here is just more points. So 2 contracts on the ES, 1 contract on here, and it's sort of very similar. But yeah, if you're going to trade it with my funded futures, just do it on the NQ for now, I would. So at the moment, we're still in this channel on the NQ. So a leg down, I think there's a good chance we have another leg down from there. So let's think where we could get to. That would take us to sort of this area. So that would make sense. So I think there's a chance we go lower. But with that overshoot, you tend to want to halt trades. It may not be an overshoot, but I certainly wouldn't go short. I like to sort of keep it there, and then, mind you, Thomas Wade's opened it up. No, he hasn't, tell a lie. You certainly think it's coming down here, don't you? You could imagine there's going to be some stop orders below there. So, but because of that, but yeah, he has extended it now, but it's, well, we're at the bottoms here already. Kind of bounce there. If we are going to come down more, you want a decent correction really to get in there. Yeah, I don't mind stretching it from there to there. We've either touched it once there or once there, so if we touched it multiple times, I'd say this is an overshoot, but we've only really touched the bottom, or a theoretical bottom. The thing I like my funded futures is it's cheap. $76, and that's it. That includes your evaluation and a PA fee as well. Well, there's no PA fee. All you pay is $76. So it's quite a bit cheaper than anyone really. And I like the end of day drawdown, so it doesn't matter whether price, you know, shoots off in a direction and comes back. So if you want to swing trade it, it's the ideal company to do it with, really. Yeah, it does a bit. So I've got that up there, and this here, it has bounced there. See, looking on this NQ with this leg down, I think there's a good chance we come down further. What do you think about fast track trade, instant funding? Those companies will last. I tend to think that that's the way companies will work, because that attracts traders. I hope it attracts traders with track records that can trade, and it doesn't attract people who are learning because it costs more money and you're going to learn a lot more money. So I think if you're relatively new, stick to the cheaper valuations and forget about the PAs. You know, Apex is ideal really to learn. It's cheap, $30 odd. But if you can hold accounts and you want to grow your accounts, then yeah, I don't see why going something like fast track trading. But I think more companies will do that, and the rest will have to follow really, otherwise they'll fall below the wayside. So I I've heard people get paid. I've not heard anything kind of really negative that I would be concerned about it, although the fact that I think it's quite pricey. But if you have a go, I've got a link in the description. But just check the prices before you jump in, because I think they can be pricey. The trouble is, if you are relatively new to trading, you're going to get through a lot more money trading with something like fast track trading, really. I think ideally they're for people who are just starting to make some money or can make money. Absolutely, yeah. If you can make money, you're starting to build accounts and you're starting to get some payments, then yeah, I get why. I get why that. But if you're still new, if you're a newish trader, you're within 12 months or whatever, I'd say stick to Apex because they're cheap and quick. You sign up, you're in account, you're trading within 5 minutes. It's quick, and at the moment, 8% off. It's like $33. That's the type of price you want to be paying, really. But even so, when you still do try them, and absolutely try them. When you're newish, just get one at a time. If you get multiple ones and you use a trade copier, you make one bad trade, you trade that bad trade over all of them because you copied them. So stick to one or two. Don't go getting a load of them because you're just blowing multiple ones. If you're starting to make money, then that's the time to build a few more up. But just keep those losses to a minimum because you can get through so much money learning to trade. And the more money you get through, the kind of more frustrating it can be. I'm lucky in a way because I stream and I get some money from affiliates. It covers my trading, so I kind of get a lot back of what it cost me. So I'm lucky in a way, but unless you're doing something like this, then you're paying the other way like most people. So I definitely say just keep track of it. And especially if you're new, don't worry about PAs. Don't worry about aiming to get to a PA quick. Aim to use the evaluations to get some experience of what it feels like trading when you've got some skin in the game, because you'll be amazed how good a trader you can be on a sim. And as soon as you move to some form of live account, you turn into a completely different trader. I remember when I first started, I watched Wilson a bit and I thought, I want to be like this guy, he's going to make a fortune. He was making $30,000 a day. And everyone was talking about it and all this sort of stuff. And, someone on the Facebook group went, I can't see him. Where's his proof? I can't see him earning that sort of money. And someone went, yeah, he earned $1 million last year and all this. And then we found out later that he then started to move on to prop firms. So he never said he was, but people kind of just assumed. And then as soon as he started going on to prop accounts, he started turning into a completely different trader. I thought he was a brilliant trader, trading on a sim. And then obviously it just goes to show when you go onto a live account, it changes you. Once you get that, once you get that feeling of you're under pressure, you make very different decisions. So you need that experience with skin in the game. You have to have it. Otherwise, you'll never make it as a trader. That's part of the learning process to get used to those emotions. When you first start, you'll be shitting your pants every time you trade. I know, because I was. But then after a while, it starts to get better and better, and it doesn't have that same effect on you. But you need to take it. Be careful with your money. Don't throw it away like I did. It's very easy to be silly with it and just gamble it away. And I went for a fair old amount of that. Triple test. I'm just looking at that now. My only slight concern is we've bounced in, we've come down and bounced again. Although we haven't made a new bottom, and not only that, we've only got really one leg up. Even before I take a triple test, I'd rather see a leg and a leg. say this could be a head and shoulders, but there's the shoulder, but you'd expect it to go down that way. Yeah, I wouldn't just take a bearish bar here because we got a little short-term trend up there. So looking at the NQ, it's a nice looking channel there. So we're not quite at the bottoms, I don't think. So no, we're not. We're quite a ways away from it. So I think there's a good chance this is going to come down. I wouldn't just take that. I'd wait for a second entry. But it's a nice channel, and I think we could have a leg and a leg. But if we do, we may need something a bit wider to take us down, which is why I said we may get a leg and a leg. So I'd expect something a little wider, and then maybe we can go from the top there, you know, down here somewhere, have a bit of a wider channel to take us sort of down for the remainder of that other leg. That's if that happens indeed, which it may not. But I think if you took that one, it's going to get stopped out personally. It's too far for the EMA anyway. It's only a first entry, so leg and a leg. Take that stop out, create a second leg, and then maybe we get something to come down. And if that does continue down, chances are the ES will follow it. I can't believe how quick these weeks are going. Doesn't seem 5 minutes since we start on a Monday, and all of a sudden we'll... yeah, see, that to me, that bearish bar there, I think is almost definitely going to get stopped out. I wouldn't take that. It's only a first entry. It may hold, but it's too far from the EMA for a start, and it's only a first entry. So I'd like to see that stopped out, which may take us a little bit higher and create the top of a bigger channel down to take down this second leg. That's a possibility. So I'd expect it to break above that bar there, or that one, something like that, depending on where you got your stop here. But I wouldn't take that. But there is one hell of a lot of support along there. So that bearish bar now on the ES has triggered. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Sometimes it just goes up and comes straight down, but if I took that, I'd expect to get stopped out because one, it's above the EMA a little bit, and two, there's a little bit of congestion there, so I'd think that would stop me out. Whether it will or not is a different matter, but I'd like to see a bit more of a leg and a leg here. Okay, so that bar gets stopped out. I'd like it to break above there for safekeeping. Channel break, just waiting for a new high. There we go. So if you took that, and there are traders that are going to be thinking leg and a leg, but this is only really the first break, so I wouldn't entertain taking a short there. I'd expect that to stop me out. So leg and a leg. There's that second leg. Sorry. There's that second leg up right to where we wanted it to go. So if you took that one didn't trigger, but if you took that one, stopped you out and created 2 legs. So that may give us the top of a channel now. Oh God, that's so tempting. That is so tempting. It is a second entry short. Trouble is, this is bottoming. We've got a lot of support here. It may bounce. It may be a range. If it's a range, it could go trap you short and could go up. So it's going to be a lower high before I'd even entertain that. We could be in a range here. So it's a bit dangerous taking that a short there. Having said that, if this does turn down, then it may come down. I thought that was going to give us a massive bearish bar for now. My experience is to leave them and wait for the lower high, because sometimes they'll trap you. Glad it finished bad. Yeah, mate. To be honest with you, what I try and do is, if I have that feeling that I hope this finishes bad, even if it finishes good, I leave it alone. And I think you do stuff like that by learning. Another thing I've started doing, which works, is just randomly throughout the day, every 20 minutes, when I think about it, I give myself a little mental assessment and I think, how do I feel? How's my patience? You know, I assess myself in real time. Am I feeling like I'm squeezing a trade? Am I impatient? Am I thinking, oh, let's have a go at this? Am I having any of those things? And I try and just curb it if I get anything. It just helps me. You've done AJ. Good on you, mate. Green week. Brilliant. Good on you, mate. Have a good weekend. That's what you want. Nice green week. So, yeah, just a little self-assessment. It just helps you be aware. Yeah, it just helps you be. It's very easy to be that focused on it. You're not thinking about how you're feeling. And we all know sometimes the patients get, if we've had a loss earlier, patients get the better of us. It's very easy to be, you know, swinging without opening your eyes properly. So I just do a little kind of mental assessment. How am I feeling? And it just helps you keep in touch with, you know, how your emotions are feeling. So that could work for me. A little bit of a range with a breakout. I'd be wanting a lower high personally, but so leg down, a couple of pushes up. If that starts to come down, I think there's a good chance we get another leg down. So a leg and a leg, which would take us down to well below this level. So pushed up, touched the top of there, and we've hit that twice there. So that's all good. Fitting kind of nice there. So hopefully come down a bit more. So we've had a break there and 2 legs up. Looks like a measured leg. I'm not going to bother measuring it. It's good enough for me. So if we can push below there and give us some kind of lower high or a failure, I may have a go at that. There's going to be a lot of Stops below there, I said so. So, a little push up. If we can trigger that, another push up, this may come down. Just check we've not got something moving up here. No, I don't think so. Be a lower high there. There'll be a lot of liquidity there. If we can get below that, that may give that a rush. Just going to get an order ready, just in case.
Order submitted.
Oof. No, it's going to have to be a failure, really. I don't want to take that. It's a bit too far sat on top of that EMA. See if we can get a failure. So there's a first entry. See if we can get a second entry long. I was going to say tempting, but it went that bloody quick. See if we can get a failure here.
Order
This is the
canceled.
area where I may put a market order in.
Order submitted.
If it triggers there, I may put it below there. So because it may come down. Mind you, it's going to mean that that's a flipping big risk, that is. Okay, so second entry long. If this triggers and it comes below there,
Order cancelled.
I'm not putting it below there. I'm not risking 20 ticks there. It hasn't even triggered above it, to be fair. So it has on the NQ. The possible failures triggered on the NQ, but unfortunately not here. Okay, it's triggered it, so that's positive. I like the way it's come back up to this channel and tested it again. That's interesting. So let's see where it goes now. Now look, we're back at the top of this channel again. See if we get a nice bearish bar there. Channel down, 2 attempts to go higher. It's triggered that bull bar there. Channel down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher. Tough price action today. Yeah, it's quite hard going, and when we have got something like that one, we had that in a sort of a different chart. It just moved that quick, and so did that as well. So that could be a bottom in. We've made some support there. We've had a few legs up, a few legs down, bounced off that again. It could move off in that direction now. Certainly to a possible range. So I'm just going to kill the colour on that and put a proper range in here. Let's leave that. Say channel down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher, then we may get some more downward stuff. It's unfortunate. Put another measured leg up here. 2 small legs of correction. Yeah, absolutely. Leg and a leg. And on the bigger scale as well, we got a channel down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher. And if we bounce off here, leg and a leg, that may not be a bad short, in all fairness. But we've pushed below all this, and now we're coming up and testing it, aren't we? We know there's some support around there. We got above it, dropped below it, and we're having another go. So it could be leg down, 2 attempts higher, and then another leg down, which will quite likely take us down to the bottom of the rest of this support, which it does perfectly. Obviously depends. Oh, my rhythmic's just done a runner. Where's that gone? Rhythmic's just closed. Strange. So yeah, maybe 2 legs up and then down for another leg. I don't think that's a bad call. So We shall see. So yeah, maybe channel down 2 attempts and then down. Let's have a look on this NQ. Is this a bigger channel on the NQ? Let me have a look. May well be. Okay, so perfect measured move. Nice. Took that fail second entry short on the 10,000. Excuse me. I think Taylor took that one there, that long. Okay, excuse me for just a quick minute. Okay. Oh. Channel down, leg and a leg. So we've got a leg and a leg, measured move. There's a bearish bar there, but I think that's risky just to assume we're going short there. Tough day today. It's not easy. Two attempts up. We need to get a decent bearish bar up here somewhere. Hopefully get close to that measure. Maybe we may get something down there. I've had a leg and a leg. Measured moves played out. We've also had a little channel with a break. One push up, two pushes up to a new high. And we've broken above there. That's still there. I'm just going to see what happens here, and then I think I'm done for the day, I think. I think this is the second or third day. Second day without a trade, I think so. Okay, I think I'm done for the day. it's been a tough day today. I'd rather finish nice and zero and not risk anything. So I can't see anything happening. So look, I appreciate your comments. Have a great weekend. And I'll be back on Monday. Hopefully we'll get something on Monday. But it's been a few awkward days, actually. So have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, and I'll be back on Monday. And hopefully we'll do it all again. So bye for now.